Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I did say in yesterday's video, once we got this Soul Chase tournament, I would do a video breaking down the math analysis and having a look at whether these events were worth it, what you got out of it, how the points breakdown works. We did have some issues with getting this table to load. It is now finally loading, so we can see all of the different point distributions here. And it is a bit like the way they did artifacts from Dungeon Divers, right? You basically get a value based on the rarity and star rating. Not that shocking, to be honest. So you can see a 1-star, 1 rare gives you 1 point. A 2-star rare is 2, 3, 6, and then 5 is 30, and 6 is 70. For an epic, 1-star is 5, 2-star is 6, 3-star is 12. Legendary is 15, 20, and 40. Now, immediately, the biggest problem I can see right now is tier 1 stones are going to be of little value because predominantly I think it's in the region of like 91% chance. 91% chance, I think it is. I'll double check the math when we do the math breakdown. It's around about 91% chance that basically your tier 1 soulstone will be a 1 to 3 rank. And even if it's a rank 3 legendary, 40 points, just basically giving us 50 points on an ancient shard in a summon rush, and now they're saying that the legendary 3-star is less value. But obviously, if you get lucky and you pull a 6-star legendary, you get 1,000 points. And you can see they're pretty much backloading everything to 5 and 6-star. This is a trend that we see with Awakening. Everything is get yourself 5 or 6-star Awakening, otherwise you don't get any benefits, or it's just you don't get the value, right? You don't get the fun, you don't get all the rewards. You must have 5 and 6-star Awakening. That seems to be the trend they are going towards. Now, in terms of the rewards, I expected this tournament to be juicier than normal because they want people to, get involved and enjoy it. So we do have 2 legendary books and a sacred shard for 1,500 points. And you're probably thinking like, well, for a champion chase tournament, normally it's like 5,500 points for another legendary book. And it's never a sacred shard. And they do have like these silly little platinum chests that, let's face it, who really cares about pulling a chaos ore? Like, who really cares about these rewards? They are awful. Like, the relentless, fair enough. And the legendary book, fine. Who cares about this? Who really cares? It baffles me. It really baffles me. Why aren't there souls in here? Why aren't there rewards that match the tournament? Or even shards? Like a 6-star legendary chaos ore, I can buy 5 in the clan shop for like 750 gold each. Come on now. Anyway, so we've got these rewards. The rewards look pretty good, but is it actually worth the investment? Like, how much are you going to get for your shards? And that is the big question we need to work out here. Whenever there's a Dungeon Divers tournament, we know that stage 20 is the most efficient. We know with different sort of dungeons what's the best way to farm. We need to look at this table now and translate it to how many stones do I need to expend on average to get up to this 1,500 mark, this reward here. How much is it going to cost me? How many stones are we going to get? And we're also going to look at then, in terms of this model, how quickly you can replenish your stores so you could redo this in the future. So just before we want to start, like, I've been hoarding my souls. I've got a lot of souls. I've got probably like 337 tier 1s I can pull. I've got 3 tier 2s. I've got a tier 3. I've probably got enough from this exchange coin rate here to basically make another 5 or so immortal soulstones, maybe even 8. So maybe we can get 11 there. It's probably enough then to get another 10 pull here for these to make another tier 2. So I could probably push really hard. I would say I have got sitting here around about 11 tier 2s, 2 tier 3s, and 337 mortal soulstones from just trading the coins for more stones, right? Some people prefer to consider these coins as essence, that they would rather go into the market, exchange the coins for essence. That's perfectly fine. I tend to prefer the soulstone coin route because you can just basically roll the RNG because it takes so much resources. Like, look at this. If I wanted a Gergo 6-star soul, it's going to cost me 300 tier 2 essence, and we just don't have enough from Iron Twins to be able to get that. So that's a lot of coins. I mean, if I want 300 of those coins, I need to basically exchange 50. I need 250 by 50. That's going to be another 12,500 tier 3 coins. Like, it's just never going to happen. So I sometimes prefer just to roll the RNG with the stones rather than try and get this essence, because you'll probably be saving like 9 months to get this 6-star soul. So let's take a look at the math breakdown. Let's have a look at the actual odds and translate it into points. Can we work out how many stones we need to complete this event? What I've done here is I've pulled out the chase points and we have mapped it against the different rarity and rating. So we can see a 1-star, 1 rare is 1 point, and the highest is a 6-star legendary soul, which will give us 1,000 points. And I have reverse engineered the probabilities that you're going to get all of these odds. We can see these probabilities, they are all in game. We got like a 20% chance on Eternal Soulstone that is 6-star, 80-20 split. We can see that once you hit a tier 2, you stop getting 1 and 2 stars. You can still get 3 stars, but predominantly the odds of you getting a 6-star legendary perfect soul are incredibly hard. Even on the tier 3 stone, it's really super rare. We can see here that the actual rarity, like the actual probabilities that you're going to get a 6-star legendary perfect soul from an Eternal Soulstone, the highest possible stone, the best probabilities is 4%. It's bad. A tier 1 stone is 0.03% chance. This is why when I said earlier in the video that predominantly you've got a 96.64% chance that whatever you get out of a tier 1 stone will be a 1 to 3 star. And they have made it so that all of the points are in the 4 to 5 star. If we're being honest, a lot of that odds is backfilled into the 2 stars. The 2 stars account for 82% of all tier 1s, 1 to 2 stars. So the best probably you're going to get is about 20. It doesn't feel good to begin with. It feels like that's really bad. Now, on a tier 2 stone, pretty much the odds and probabilities are around about, let's see, for a 5-star, pretty much it's about 96% chance that it's going to be either a 3, 4, or 5-star. In terms of the 3 or 4-star, we're talking about 84%. So again, even on the tier 2 stone, over 3/4 is likely to be a 3 and 4-star, and the most you can get is 100 points there. Because where you really need the rewards is the 5 and 6-star souls. That is where you start really ramping up, and particularly epics and legendaries. We've got a 64% chance that we will get a 5-star epic from a tier 3 stone. More than half the odds that you're likely to pull a 5-star epic. That is 135 points. Even just by looking at these stats, we can kind of make a summarization that the average value of an Eternal Soulstone is around about 135 points in a chase that requires you to get 1,500. So that's already a problem. So the way we're going to work this out is it's not really realistic because you can't really get like 1/10 of a perfect soul, but it is probably the correct way to work out a final rough number of the stones and returns based on the probabilities. Because obviously we could round the numbers up, but then you would run into situations of, well, you know, if I rounded the 2 Eternal Soulstone odds, I'd only have 1 reward. It would obviously be 2 rewards, so it would probably be more likely 2 5-stars. So it's very difficult to kind of like do an estimation. I think this is the best way to do it mathematically speaking. So what we do is we basically go in here and we say, okay, well, we know the odds are 31.68%. So we take the 337 and we can work out how many 1-star rare souls we're going to get on average, which is about 106.76. And that is 1 point. So it's 106.76 chase points because we get 1 for a 1-star rare. And we can work that out for every single rarity option that we can get out of those 337 stones. So on average, those 337 stones are going to give me 2,268 points. Now, the average is just an average. There could be the likelihood that I never get any of these 5-star points, which is 648. Why? Because they could all be backfilled over here, because obviously there's a very slim chance you're going to get this. If you look at how many quantities we're talking, there's a likelihood out of the 337 that I will get on average 1 6-star rare. On average, I'll get 0.1 6-star legendary. On average, I'll get 0.4, so it's like half of an epic soul, right? These aren't possible that you can get half of a soul. It's the average numbers. But it basically translates that if I was to pull every single shard that I have available to me right now, I can expect on average to pull 3,209 points. Now, that's probably the higher average than normal. I would expect it to be a little bit lower just because of the way, as I said, you can't get half of a soul. The likelihood is these points that we've got down here, we won't get. But what I really wanted to point out is I got 2 Eternal Soulstones, and those 2 Eternal Soulstones on average are going to give me less than 500 points. Now, I always equate Eternal Soulstone to a Sacred Shard. In a Sacred Shard event in Summon Rush, that's guaranteed 500 points per 1. So that's 1,000 points that I should be getting. And if I look at it in a Champion Chase, well, it's a guaranteed 500 for 2. I'm getting less than the guaranteed of a Sacred Shard here, on average. If we look at the sort of tier 2 stones here, they're giving me 447. These points here just don't equate. So let's take like 100 Ancient Shards. they give you on a champion chase 10 points per rare champion. And on average, in a non-boosted event like non-times2, you get an 8% chance that you get a epic champion. You probably don't expect to get a legendary out of 100 ancients because it's 0.5% chance. Probably around 200 is where the average kicks in. So you can get 8 times 250 points, and then you can get an extra 192 points on top of that because you basically get 1,090/20, right? You get another 2k. That gives you 4,000 chase points nearly from 100 ancient shards, but 300 tier 1 stones doesn't even get you 2,500. They've messed up the math here, I think, for me personally, when we actually go into the next phase of assumption. So if you've seen some of my old videos, you would have seen something like this, where it kind of tells you what the average return rates are from the Iron Twins and how many coins you can expect, how they translate, and then also we've got some Hydra considerations here as well. The way that the Iron Twins works is you get twice the amount of rewards on a Sunday on the Void keep, but every other day of the week you get sort of normal rates, and you can use them 6 times. So if you're a player that doesn't like spending that 150 gems, which, do you know what, for a non-Void, I totally agree with. I personally only spend those 150 gems on the Sunday when it's double the odds. You can expect to get, for a daily non-Void, 863 coins a day on average, or you get about 1,762 in the Sunday day. So the weekly, you can expect to get just under 7,000, and monthly, you can get 27,000. Now, we know the coins are 1,000 to 1 coin. So what this basically means is, on average, you will get, just from Iron Twins farming alone, 27 tier 1 stones, just from Iron Twins. 27 tier 1s. Now, of course, I know people in chat will be going, yes, but you get extra coins from the events. Yes, you get it from different things. You can sell champions. I totally understand that. What I'm saying is the primary dungeon that was introduced that gives you soul stones gives you 27 a month. Keep in mind, I've just told you that 337 doesn't even get me like more than 2,500 points. And to be honest, like if I could plug that number back into our other calculator here and say, okay, let's take out my stones here. If I just spend my Iron Twins, on average, I can expect 182 points a month just from Iron Twins. That's not good. But of course, we know we get Hydra bonuses. So I've basically taken it based on coin value. So I've taken the number of soul stones on average you can likely get from the different difficulties, converted them into their coin representative value so that I can continue comparing it against Iron Twins. So you can see here, if you're doing normal and hard, which is probably for most people in early Hydra, then you can expect to get around about 20,000 points here, because you're going to get on average 9.6 on 11.2 stones from each chest. So you're going to get around about an extra 20 stones a month. There's also the 5 a month we get from the daily login if you've completed all of the daily login cycles, and you get 1 extra tier 2 stone as well. So how does that really work out in terms of what can you expect to get in total? Well, basically around about 53 tier 1 stones a month on average, and that is completing those. Now, if we basically put this up to the sort of super end game bit where you're doing brutal, hard, and nightmare, then on average, you're going to get around about 39 coins. So basically, Hydra is more valuable for stones than Iron Twins. And that's been my biggest bugbear. The primary dungeon that's meant to give you the stones is one of the worst places for you to get stones. You're better off going and get it from events because you're getting other things alongside it. So it's very concerning that that's the case. But anyway, you get about 40 stones here. So basically a brutal, hard, and nightmare player who is doing Iron Twins every single day, who is getting their monthly rewards, they're getting around about 71 stones a month, maybe 72 stones a month. That is how much they're getting right now. They'll also get that bonus tier 2 stone a month as well. So that basically works out that you're getting somewhere in the region. So we said it was 72 stones a month and you're getting 1. Every month a player is getting around about 525 chase points without spending, which is 1/3 of the required points to complete the event, which means you probably cannot complete the event with just doing this. Now, you could say, well, I can sell those souls and re-roll them into different coins. I can get bonus coins. Even if you got 150 a month, you're still not completing the tournament without having to spend money. And that is going to be a problem for people. People don't want to be forced to spend money. They want to do it for fun. they want to do it if they feel like they can get more from it. They don't want to feel like the only way to do it is to spend. Are there any other places we can get something? Well, obviously we can re-roll them. How long will it take us to get to one of those Eternal Soul Stones unless we go and buy one of those? Well, we know that there's a 50 tier 1 requirement to make a tier 2, to get a tier 2 stone. So that's going to take you around 1.5 months to summon enough tier 1 stones to be able to exchange the coins to buy a tier 2 stone. And that will require you then to summon 33 on average tier 2 stones in order for you to get enough of those tier 3 coins to be able to convert that for an Eternal Soul Stone. So we're still talking about, with all the bonuses, around about 1.9 years, so just under 2 years, for you to get a tier 3 stone from the dungeons and farmable game modes that they've provided for Eternal Soul Stones. This doesn't include selling souls or the soul coins you get from events, which I understand that would reduce that number. So even if I was to give it some liberal sort of comfort and say, okay, well, you're going to get maybe a couple of months saved from the events that you've got some coins from, and you're probably going to be able to save, I don't know, maybe like 6 months from selling souls. You're still talking like at least 6 to 9 months to get a tier 3 stone. So tier 3 stones, unless you're going to spend money or they're going to be in one of those rare hero paths every now and then, or sometimes these summon rushes they've just done, are not that accessible. So really the problem we've got here is we've got a tournament that requires you to have 1,500 points with a system that you can't farm 1,500 points. And even if you've spent money like I have, you still feel like you're not getting much. If you throw everything you've got, if you throw everything that you have earned, all of my souls that I haven't spent for like, I would say 28 days, I haven't pulled a soul in 28 days, it gives me 3,200 points on average. It feels really bad. I'm actually not going to pull anywhere for this tournament. I might pull 10 now just for this video so you can see what I mean about the pull rates. But I'm probably not going to pull anything at all because I'm going to wait for boosted odds. That's what I would recommend all of the players who've reached this far in the video. If you are on the fence, wait. Wait first. There's two possible scenarios. It could be that the summon rush for souls is way better, that we just get a better return because the stone itself is more valuable than what the stone gives you, which can be the case. It could be that the tier 3 stone is only going to, on average in a chase, give you 492, but you might get 750 points for summoning it. We don't know. So I would wait to see the summon rush. I wouldn't rush and burn all of my saved stones at this point. I know obviously there's a lot of demand for the stones. I would hold it, and I would also wait for boosted odds, because if they can boost these probabilities, then obviously you'll get more rewards. That's what we get with ×2 shards. You don't pull if you need epic champions outside of a ×2, right? We don't really pull shards unless there's a boosted summoning event. They've already suggested that's going to happen, so I would wait for that. And unfortunately, the rewards that we see, which is 2 legendary books and a sacred shard, in my opinion, is not worth burning my hoarding. I will hold my shards. So I'm going to pull 10 souls here just for the video, just so we can see how bad this really feels. If I get a 6-star soul here now, it's going to be quite a laugh, I guess. I'm not going to pull any more than 10. I'm not going for the event. I just want to do it for the video to show for context everything we talked about. We'll see what we get here. I got 28 points. You can already see how much I got. 10 stones gave me 28 points. Why? It's 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. Like there's a 1 4-star, and that gave me 28 points. This event is terrible. It's really bad. The math is just wrong. I don't know who made the math up. I don't know who made the decision. We'll awaken him. Why not? The souls are worth it. The souls are good. The problem is I don't know who did the math, but they clearly made it a system that, look how much I got. I got 200 energy because I got 28 points. So I'm not going to pull any more shards. I do not care whether you put this at like the best rewards in the game. You need to look at the math because these things are bad. I mean, there's probably crazy people. Like, look at the global leaderboard. This is how bad it is. This was a champion chase by now. They'd be at 100,000 points. They're at 25,000. The return of the points are bad. There you go, guys. That is the Soul Stone. My advice to everyone watching this video, wait for the Summon Rush. Let's see whether that event is more favorable to Soul Stones. And if not, I'm going to wait for boosted odds because I would rather spend my limited stones that I can earn. Obviously, I've bought a few packs. I'm not saying I haven't done that, but you can see even the impact is making me not want to pull stones. I'd rather save them. Even though I have a few shards here, I don't feel like they're worth it. I don't feel like I'm going to get good payoff. I will wait for the boosted opportunities that they've promised or suggested that they're going to do, because if I can get double the chance of getting a 6-star legendary soul here, that would be better, right? I've got so little chance of getting 6-star legendaries. That's what I care about. I really don't use epic champions in areas that blessings really matter in that much extent anymore. So it would be really helpful if we had the boosted opportunities. So that's what I would recommend you do. Let me know in the comments below, guys, if you are still going to pull for this event, what you think about this math. I'm sure most of you are probably going to agree with me that these are not good rewards, because just generally people want more of everything. I do feel like obviously they could balance it and make sure that it's profitable and they can get people to spend money, but really it shouldn't be required to spend money to do these game modes. It should be optional, and that optional should be beneficial, because if you make it beneficial, players will still spend money. If you make it a requirement, players will not want to spend money because they feel like they're being forced into it. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.